My name's Tim Binkley. I'm a geologist, license number 336 in North Carolina.
My name is Barry Nelson. I think that one of the things, as Tim said, about environmentalism, just to start with, is that it is a movement for some folks, and it's an activist type movement.
For me, environmentalism is a fairly broad and sometimes not very useful term. It can mean everything from taking a philosophical stand either for or against some practice to a concept of recycling to a theology. I think the term sustainability now is the term that's probably being most commonly and probably most effectively interchanged because it speaks to an actual practice that has an outcome attached to it. I think the closest we could come to claiming practices that work towards sustainability is the practice of reusing land. So in that regard, the Brownfields program is particularly a land recycling program, but I think that the act of assessing and remediating problems also is a step toward moving land back, and therefore the communities in which that land exists, back to a higher state of health. When I teach environmental geology, what keeps coming up is most of the problems that occur in the environment occur from the interface of human activity with the natural environment. In general, most of this stuff happens because we are in a curve of overpopulation. We have too many people using the resources.
A lot of the projects that we work on represent areas where groundwater specifically has been adversely impacted. And what a lot of folks don't know is that groundwater is the main source of supply for over 50% of the population of the United States, and nearly 100% of those people that don't live in a community.
80% of the world uses groundwater as its primary drinking water supply, and the total amount of groundwater in the world is less than 1% of all the water in the world. I think another thing that we kind of overlook in environmental management is the role of public policy. We see the same thing with floodplain development, with green space. Those are policy decisions that have a long-term effect on the health of a community. And I think until the public becomes aware of that and puts pressure on its leadership to make decisions that are in the best interest of the public, we'll continue to see those kinds of problems.
And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, the folks that speak the loudest sometimes are the ones who have the least involvement in truly understanding what the issues are.
One of the places we're seeing that right now is what's going on in the legislature with this conversation about fracking. There are plenty of things that are wrong with fracking. Probably the ones that people are blaming it for are not the real ones. I think one of the sad ironies is in the United States, there seems to be an inborn suspicion about science. We're the only first world nation that has trouble with this stuff. The rest of the world knows that climate change is real. On the country's environmental psyche, I don't think it has changed all that much.